Spacey Sims, and we're back with more Taisho Alice in the epilogue. Obviously, this is the only part we have. So, anyway, we're just continuing where we left off. Outside the cafe, I found myself in a bustling street lined with brick buildings. Up ahead, you can see the Looking Glass shopping district. Looks busy. Does it? I imagine it's pretty empty compared to the big city. But then again, this is the main street, so it fares pretty well. Our town's a fairly famous tourist trap, after all. Oh, I see. We may be a tiny rural town in the mountains, but at this elevation our summers aren't too hot. And we're close to the city, so a lot of folks have summer homes near the lake. There's a lake? Yes, I'll take you there later. Thank you. Gretel started walking, and I followed along behind him. You know, for a rural town, this place looks pretty classy. Feels sort of... what's the word? Old-timey? Retro? So, sore. Yes, that's it. So desu ne. Just saying random shit now. I agree. We have a lot of museums and historical buildings in these parts, plus cafes and gift shops for the tourists. And the cafes have such a nice aesthetic. But of course, once you move away from the main street, you'll start seeing fields and mountains. Fresh and exciting for visitors, but for the people who actually live here, the novelty wore off a long time ago. Can't believe I have to waste my day off doing tourist crap. He let out a dramatic sigh. Oh, sorry, he should have been like, ugh. Then looked over at a store with a banner outside that read Lavender Soft Serve. Oh, and that's the place that sells our famous Lavender Soft Serve ice cream. I'd buy some, but I didn't bring my wallet. I'd buy us some, sorry. And that's alright. I'll submit an itemized invoice later. He says, grinning ear to ear. Next, we turn off the main street and onto a side road. See, as soon as we leave the shopping area, everything gets rural real quick. This is the countryside for you, am I right? As he ate his pale purple soft serve, he gleefully led me around the Looking Glass tourist locations. Yeah, I guess so. Incidentally, these ice cream cones? $4 each. Anything noteworthy around here? Not really. Oh, I see. What about this place? The sign says the Bamboo House. Kaguya? Coming out? Because wasn't that where Kaguya was on one of the routes? I came to a stop in front of a large concrete building. Oh. Yeah, I think that's an orphanage. Wow, really? Yes, really. Now let's move along, please. Evidently he wasn't interested in it because he started walking faster. Hey, slow down a sec! Whoa, that mansion is huge! I stood at the fancy front gates and gawked with my mouth agape. Indeed it is. It's also your house. What? This decadent mansion is my house? You tell me. He pointed to the nameplate, which read Arisu. You guys said I was rich, but I didn't know I was this rich. Could you imagine waking up one day and then just being rich? Damn, that'd be nice. Didn't feel real at all. Was this really my house? So I'm allowed to just waltz in there, or what? So am I allowed to just waltz in there, or what? That makes more fucking sense than what I said. Probably. It's your house. With or without your memories. You're right. Okay then, I'm just gonna march right in. But right when I pushed open the gates, a dark-haired man popped out of the house. Well, if it isn't our puppet. Okay, this is where Kaguya is. Who's that? The man clearly seemed to recognize me, but I didn't remember him at all. So, like, this almost seems like the Cinderella path. You know, we were engaged to Cinderella. Those are his siblings. We live here, and Kaguya is our bodyguard. So. Gretel squinted at him across the yard. As I recall, that's the servant with the funny accent. What was his name again? I remember it was one of those dumb foreign names. K something? Caden? Caden? Got it! Hey, Caden! Who? Apparently it wasn't Kaden. Of course, it could be Kaiden. That would, and with the Japanese accent, probably would have made more sense, but like. All of the rooms. Yep, we've seen these all. Well, have you remembered anything? No, not at all. He slumped his shoulders in disappointment. Right. Well, I reckon it's not as simple as it seems. Incidentally, the smiling young man was not Kaden, but Kaguya. Apparently, he was my family's servant. You can't bite me because he's trying to pay you. What do you want? After we explained the situation, he led us inside the house. I'm sorry, Kaguya. No. Nothing you need to be apologizing for. But I gotta ask, really, how on earth did my puppet get amnesia? He folded his arms and murmured to himself. I wish we knew, but we don't. Hey, ow! That wasn't nice. You bitey. I knew we shouldn't have married you off to Mr. Bankrupt's useless son. It took a while for me to realize he was talking about Cinderella. Cinderella's not useless, if that's what you're saying. I stood up for him without hesitation. I don't remember anything about him, but I can tell he's a responsible, hardworking guy. Granted, maybe he wasn't always such a person, but he certainly was now. Puppet. I reckon you're right. Otherwise you wouldn't have fallen for him, would ya? I would assume not. Gee, how convincing. I laughed awkwardly, then changed the subject. Anyway, this is such a nice house. It's hard to believe I ever lived here. The mansion was so luxuriously furnished, it felt more like a castle. It was so fanciful, in fact, it looked a bit out of place out here in the sticks. There's even a ballroom for dancing. As I said it, something suddenly occurred to me. Oh. What is it? Remembered something? Kaguya, you're the only person who lives here, right? Where's the rest of my family? He shifted awkwardly. What? Well, your parents don't come round much. Why's that? They're hunters, so they're busy with work. They have their own house elsewhere. Hunters? Confused, I mimed a gun with my hand and pretended to fire. Oh, but your big brother's local if you want to meet with him. I have a brother? Heck yeah, I want to see him! Apparently, Spacey Arisu had a brother. Well then, let's go track him down. Yeah! What? Seriously? It's like, I don't want to track your brother down. Sister. Sister, you're my sister. And so there we were. Puppet! This is the hospital where all the hunters work. It's very quiet. You know what's really funny? This is the hospital, but this was actually... Sorry, I had to move my screen. This was our school. We went to school at the hospital. I'm just saying. I mean, we are in the head of a mental patient, so... Well, it's a hospital, isn't it? When he said hunters, I was expecting a cottage in the woods, but apparently it wasn't quite that straightforward. Right then, I'll go ask if your brother's here. Please do. After he was gone, I could feel a gaze boring into me from behind. What is it, Gretel? Gretel pouted his lips at me. What am I even doing here? I don't see the point in staying if you're just gonna have your servant show you around everywhere. But if I leave her, then she'll be all alone with him. I don't trust that limey loser one bit. Not that I owe Cinderella anything, but if he doesn't marry her, then she won't be my sister. I can't have that. Hello, Earth to Gretel! When I called out to him, he looked up with a smug smile. Looks like I have no choice. I'll consider it an investment in my future. For now, I'll tolerate your fickle whims. I hope you appreciate your sweet baby brother. He has some serious fucking issues. It's great. Of course I do. Thanks, Gretel. I grinned at him. Just then, Kaguya returned. Oi, puppet! How'd it go? Not well. They said your brother's not in today, so he's not here. Oh, I see. Darn. Oh well. Let's move on, shall we? Yeah. Our next stop. So this is the forest. Right you are. Nothing much of note out here. Let's hurry on to the lake. As we traveled through the forest, we came upon a tiny house in the middle of nowhere. Oh wow, there's a house out here. More like a rundown shack. You can say that again. The building was in bad shape, with cracks in the walls and overgrown ivy crawling all over it. No signs of any occupants. I know there's a lot of summer homes around here. I think this is one of them. If it was, I reckon they put a bit more effort into the upkeep, surely. I can totally picture some teenage thugs hanging out here. I know what you mean. Good thing we don't have to live in a place like this. I love being rich. You lot aren't rich. We will be once they get married. Then I'll have a sister and all of my problems will be solved. Okay, look. Gretel is creepy as fuck, but I kind of love Gretel because he's creepy as fuck, and it's like, you just make him so freaking disturbing. Good job, game. And you'll have me as well. Ew, hard pass. And so Kaguya and Gretel continued their lively conversation as we traveled deeper into the woods. Then at last we arrived at the lake. Suteki? Suteki? Suteki. Yeah, Suteki. How wonderful! Suteki! No, Suteki. There's no E. It's actually in a song. And now I'm hearing it kind of... But I can't remember... You know what I mean? Like, you know how sometimes you hear a lyric or something, you're like, oh, that's from... that's a lyric in a song, but I can only hear that word. I can't hear the rest of the song. Really weird. You know, like sometimes you can you're like, oh yeah, and then you start singing a song. This one I can hear the way that is sung in the song. And I cannot hear the rest of it to try to even remember. It's a Grand Rodeo song though. I know that. Anyway. The lake was crystal clear, reflecting the bright blue sky above. I mean, that doesn't help. They have a ton of songs and that could be literally in 30 of them, but I just the way it's sung in one song. Half in my brain. Anyway. Oh, I love this place. It's so quiet and beautiful, and the air is so crisp and clean. After a few lungfuls of fresh air, I noticed that the sound of the waves seemed to echo quite loudly. Sorry. Now that I think of it, the lake's a lot like the ocean, isn't it? Listen to that whoosh sound. Except the ocean's so big you can't see the other side. Lakes can be big where you can't see the other side. Shut up. Well, there's some rather large lakes, too, isn't it? Good point. In that case, I'm not sure what the difference is. Supposedly it's determined by depth, but I seem to remember there are no strict guidelines, because lakes have an outlet to an ocean. Ponds are literally just puddles in the middle and have no outlet to the ocean, right? Isn't that what it is? But then, would that mean all lakes are saltwater? I suppose you could consider it a lake if it's a reservoir. Because, we have a lake down the street for me, but I'm pretty sure there's no outlet to the ocean. It's like a man-built reservoir. Although, if you think about it, maybe, even though I live far away from the lakes could, there could be here's a lake! And there's a stream that and it's 7,000 miles across. I mean, right? Aren't lakes? Or maybe it is just depth. Or size? I don't know. No, I don't know. Interesting question. Huh. Weird. Anyway. Just aren't there freshwater lakes? Why don't I know these things? These are things that at one point in time you knew and then you just forgot because you don't care anymore. And then you're like, well, I feel dumb for not knowing this, but huh. But it's one of those I feel like it's almost a useless fact. You don't really need to know that. You don't really need to know. Math, you kind of need to know some of it. You don't need to know trigonometry unless you're in a field that requires that. Are there any? I don't know. But again, things like that. Anyway, it's water. That's all you need to know. That's weird. Where did that random trivia come from? Say it's random trivia, knowing about lakes and things. You're very knowledgeable, aren't you? That's our puppet. I feel like that was sarcastic because I'm kind of an idiot. She's not, I am. It's like the cooking thing all over again. And though your memories are gone, it seems you still have the same knowledge. I guess so. Are we gonna... After that, we walked around town some more, and by the time we returned to the cafe, the sun was setting. I'm beat. Guys, thank you so much for walking around with me today. Of course. You're welcome. Why isn't that cooking? Oh, there we go. As we chatted outside the cafe, Cinderella came running up to us. There you are! Spacey! What are you... Wait, what are you doing with her, Limey? Shoulders heaving, he pointed his finger directly in Kaguya's face. Abruptly switching to villain mode, Kaguya sidled up to me with a leer in his face. On his face, well. Who? Me? Oh, you know. Yes, that's enough of that, thank you. Gretel promptly karate chopped Kaguya on the head. Ouch! Tears of pain sprang to Kaguya's eyes. I love the man harem in her head. I love the fact that I'm in a man harem in somebody else's head. Like, this is great. Thanks a lot, Alice. I appreciate this. Alice is like, I'll imagine you in a man harem in my head. Ah! You're so nice! Good boy. Anyway. Thank you, Gretel. Cinderella gazed at Gretel, awestruck. Then Gretel held out his hand. And that'll be $30. What? To pay for the soft serve, gelato, and sherbet we had today. Arisa didn't have any money on her, so I had to pay. Oh, that's right. I wanted to treat us, but then I realized I didn't have my wallet, so Gretel paid instead. So that's what he meant by itemized invoice. $30, huh? Cinderella pulled his wallet from his pocket and counted out 3 bills. And take it. Thank you very much. Very well. As an added bonus, I'll get this Limey out of here. Once he got his money, Gretel grinned and grabbed Kaguya by the scruff of the neck. Come along, servant. It's time to take out the trash. Don't you reckon you brothers are a bit harsh with me? As the two retreated into the distance, I looked back at Cinderella. He stared down at his wallet and murmured to himself, Ugh, $30. And then again, if it only costs $30 to keep Spacey safe, then I guess it's a good deal. I'm sorry, he paid for both of us, so... My voice snapped him back to his senses, and he looked up. What you doing, little bratty bird? No, don't sweat it. $30 is practically nothing. It's nothing. He's so broke. Hey, come on. $30 is $30. So how'd it go? Snow told me you guys walked around town to try to get your memories back. Yeah. Did it work? Well, I fell silent. He quickly took the hint. Don't worry about it. You'll remember sooner or later. He stroked my hair to cheer me up. Did you eat dinner? You must be tired. What do you feel like having? Oh, about that. I was thinking of making something. His eyes widened at my suggestion. Here you go. I hope you like it. I set my freshly made stew down on the table. Cinderella froze, staring at the stew. Bye, Angry Bird. What's wrong? Nothing, I'm just touched. If the stew made him this happy, then it was all worthwhile. Go on, try some. At my prompting, he picked up his spoon and steered a bite into his mouth. Nom. How is it? Do you like it? After an uncomfortable silence, I couldn't stop myself from asking. Spacey, it tastes like you. He looked back at me with teary eyes. Meanwhile, his brothers watched us with disdain. Why does he make it sound so lewd? Because he's always a total perv. Hey! Shut the hell up, both of you! And this is a heartwarming moment, so read the goddamn room. For now, I was just relieved that he liked the food. It tastes like you. I thought he was going to say, it tastes like you. It tastes like you. It tastes like beef stew? Gross. It seems that is kind of gross. Especially when Gretel and Snow get involved. You're like, thanks for dinner. It was great. Yes, thank you very much. The stew was delicious. I'm glad you liked it. After dinner, I was gathering up the dirty dishes when I locked eyes with Snow White over the top of his book. You sure you don't want anything to eat? I'm sure. For some reason, Snow White was the only one who refused to eat. Come to think of it, he hadn't eaten breakfast either. Now I was worried about him. He's just fasting. Permanently. Don't sweat it. He's always like this. I see. I thought maybe he had turned his nose up at my cooking, but apparently there was some other reason behind it. Incidentally, Cinderella had polished off Snow White's portion as well as his own. I figured I should make a lot in order to feed all the men of the house, but now we have a ton of leftovers. I peered into the pot on the stove as I spoke. We can just eat it tomorrow. Stews and curries are meant to last for 2 or 3 days, and that's why they're so cost-effective. I nodded along. Praise be to the versatility. It's versatility. Why can't I speak today? I've got half an ear out while I'm recording. Just hear if anybody's tromping toward my door because, like, my shower's leaking. Like the valve is probably broken in there. And so, like, you know, like when you start to turn your shower on, you start to hear the whooshing noise of the water as it's coming, and then you turn it to a certain point, and then the water comes out of the faucet. It's making that noise, like it's like the seal, like the shh, almost like you're opening a soda bottle. But it's just, and it's almost a stream at this point, and it's like, so something needs to be replaced so that it actually turns off and it doesn't pour water like that. But like, nobody's come, and so I'm just like waiting. But I'm like, it's been like 2 fucking days. I'm like, I know you have to get a plumber, but like, this is fucking wasting me money, fucking assholes. I hate living here, I really do. Anyway, so I was like half listening, and then versatility just, for some reason, my brain could not read that word. Anyway, praise be to the versatility of stews. Wow, I can't. Okay. Cinderella, you've really started thinking like a poor person, haven't you? Gretel muttered, rolling his eyes. Wait a minute. No wonder I thought we were forgetting something. Aren't you going to take some up to Alice? Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Alice? Instantly I froze. There's someone named Alice living here? Huh? Oh, huh? Oh, right, you don't remember. The funny thing is when we started this and we're like in Cinderella's route, blah, 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 and I was like, they're like, okay, and I was like thinking, well, if this Cinderella's route, Alice lives upstairs, but then I forgot about him too. I just, even though I knew he was in the round, he was boarding here, I just figured that the story was kind of rewriting itself, so. You know, it was going to be different, but. See, he's this nasty little brat. And for every comment you make to him, he'll fire back tenfold. Rude, sarcastic, and stubborn. Why does that sound familiar? Like Gretel? That's it. I'm kicking your ass. Gretel clenched his fist with a dangerous smile. That's not what I meant. Is he a guy my age with blonde hair and blue eyes? Yep. I don't know what's going on with his hair. Guess it's naturally wavy or something. You sure we're not talking about Gretel? I'm not blonde, Snow White. Are you flat out dissing me to my face? Is this Alice shorter than me? Maybe. We're about the same height. For the record, I'm 5'8" and still growing. Don't you dare compare me to that manlet. Manlet! That's adorable. I didn't say anything. It's him! Oh, that's me. Oh, sorry. It's him. It's totally him. Please, I need to meet this guy. I've been looking for him. For a moment, Cinderella looked taken aback by my shouting, but then... Sure. Fine by me. He shrugged. Take me to him. Hold on a second. That's it shouldn't be. No, I don't. Oh my god, stop. Our parcel pending things with our packages is like kind of broken, I guess. I mean, it works, but like it's not giving notifications. And I picked up a package yesterday, but then it gave me a reminder, like, reminder, your package is here. I don't. And now it's reminding me again, but like I have to quote unquote pick it up by today, otherwise they're going to charge me storage fees. But you can't charge me a storage fee when I already picked up the fucking thing. And you know what I should have done? I forgot when I was there and I put the code in and it said that was already picked up yesterday at whatever time. I should have taken a picture of that so that like if they try to be like, oh, well, our system shows that your package was there. I fucking picked that up. Like, I'm not paying a storage fee for a package that's not there, and I'm not gonna, well, I can't pick up any of my packages because you're gonna charge me because your system's fucked up. You know what I mean? But I've tried twice now, and like, the boxes work. It's just, it's not going into the system. You know what I mean? Because like, a package also got delivered for me yesterday, but I didn't get any notification. So, but when I put in my phone number and the PIN number that I have, it's like, oh, you have a pending package, and it opened the locker. But I never got notifications. So there's something between the parcel lockers and their system that's forked. So that's just annoying. Like, I swear to fucking God. Welcome to the living hell that I live in anyway. Cinderella walked to the door at the end of the hall and knocked lightly. Hey! Sorry, Bird. I'm sorry, but you're jammed under my neck and I'm making voices. He's like, the fuck? Anyway. Hey! Alice! We need to talk. Why can't you go speak to him yourself? Something tells me he won't answer the door if it's me. We'd all gone upstairs to the second floor, aka the cafe's living quarters. The rest of us were crouched around the corner on the staircase, spying as Cinderella approached the room alone. Sure enough, the occupant of the room showed no signs of appearing. Hey! I know you're in there. If you don't open this damn door, I'll take it off the hinges. Having lost patience, Cinderella started banging on the door. He sounds like a debt collector. And that's a low blow, Snow. And I don't appreciate it right now. Cinderella, there's only one way to get him out there. Gretel and Cinderella exchanged a look, then nodded. It's not clicking. Oh, you're really totally into sleeping and you don't even care that I touched your tail. What you doing, little bugaboo? Oh, I can snuggle you. Oh, I can snuggle you. You're so cute. You're tolerating this. All right. What were they talking about? Bird, it's like if I have to move my chin too much, I'm going to smack you in the back because you're jammed under my neck. Like, what? Just, it's his favorite place. As I watched in confusion, Cinderella took a step back and then took a deep breath. And then... I don't think I can scream this in Cinderella's voice. Alice! You freeloading scum! Pay your rent, you deadweight loser! That's the best I could do. I'm sorry. It's hard. He screamed at the top of his lungs. I can't scream in his voice. We all froze and held our breath. Then with a click, the door slowly opened. You know that line was so much better with the actual voice acting, but he's coming out. Shh! Great. And now then, I wanted to tell you. You bankrupt foot fetish freak! Pay your debt, you deadweight loser! You want to call me freeloading scum? You're in the same boat, you hypocrite! The only difference is you have a job! Yeah, and I'd say it's a pretty big difference. It's you! Out walked a guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. Uh-oh. The second he saw me, he bolted. Not so fast, punk! Hold it! I lunged at him. So this is kind of interesting, because if you think about it, like, that's the way he acted. Like, oh my god, hiding from us when in Cinderella's route, and you were just like, whatever, okay, it's weird, quirky, like, we'll figure it out when we get to his route. Why he's always there with us. And now everything makes sense. But it is kind of interesting that he's avoiding us, and now why he was kind of almost avoiding us in Cinderella's route is, like, why he was, in reality, avoiding it. You know, it ties all in. As for what happened next... Ah! Sure enough, we hit the floor hard. Ow, 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 ow. You okay, Spacey? I could hear Cinderella's concerned tone. I thought for sure we were going to get a CG. Yeah, I'm fine. Despite the nasty fall, it didn't hurt too bad. In fact, there was a lot of cushioning. Huh? Something fell off, and then it hit me. Can't breathe. My whole body hurts. And everything's so goddamn heavy. Heavy, I tell you. I had accidentally landed directly on top of him. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Hastily, I moved to get up. But before I could, I found myself staring right into his eyes. Oh. It felt like a scene out of a shoujo manga. Except, gender flipped. Ah, there we go. There's our CG. I knew we had to get one. Ow, ow, ow. I hit my head so hard I nearly gave myself amnesia. It's you. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. Yeah! He screamed. I have you now, my pretty. I have you now, my pretty. I cackled evilly. That's fun. That line's so cliche, no one ever says it anymore. All that shoujo manga's rotted your brain. Now get off me, hurry up! Get out of my sight! No, I refuse. I stared down at him. Listen, I have a question for you. You're the same guy who was in the darkness with me, aren't you? So your name's Alice? Why are our names so similar? Where are we exactly? One minute I was chasing you, and then I passed through the looking glass and wound up here. Not only that, but everyone here seems to know me. They say my name's Spacey Arisu, and I have a fiancé? Seriously, what's going on here? Am I really Spacey Arisu? Tell me everything you know. Quit babbling. Can't answer your questions when you throw them at me all at once. Not your divine oracle, okay? Technically, an oracle is divine by default, so that's kind of... tautology? Kind of a tautology there? What is that? Okay, first, is your name Alice? At this, he pursed his lips in defeat. Yes, that's right. My name's Alice. Here's your answer, okay? Now wipe that stupid smirk off your face and get off me before I puke. I have more questions, and I'm not letting you go until you answer all of them. So you're using your position of power to take advantage of me? I'm gonna sue you for sexual harassment. This isn't sexual harassment. I'm not touching you inappropriately. If anything, you're the one who's in a position to cop a feel. This floor pinning scene may seem romantic at first glance, but with my hands occupied, I was actually at a disadvantage. If I grabbed every nice pair of breasts I came across, I'd be in jail. I'm not some savage who can't control himself. So you're saying I have a nice pair of breasts? So you admit you think I have a nice rack, pervert? Don't get full of yourself. Not every guy likes big tits, okay? Some like legs, some like faces, some like certain archetypes. There are a lot of fetishes out there. Can't believe we're having this conversation, but it's great. Gretel. Well, I like sisters. I mean, I like big tits. What if your dear sister was flat-chested? I guess she'd lose her motherly qualities, so that'd reduce her appeal, but I care more about the sister aspect. We're getting all the kinks out now. I'd settle for flat-chested. I love how fucked up Gretel is. I love him so much. He's so disturbing. Everything that comes out of his mouth is like, wrong. See that? Evidently, Gretel had a sister archetype fetish. Well, what kind of girls are you into, Alice? Yes? I like gloomy crybaby girls who don't have any friends and don't even know how to play pretend. Yeah, because that was us. Huh? Not that I expect you to understand, since you're the polar opposite in every way. Thanks, I guess? In other words, he saw me as a strong, smart, cheerful girl with lots of friends? Without my memories, it didn't really ring true. Incidentally, did you know you got a guy standing behind you like a deer in headlights while he gets a front row view of you cheating on him? What? Yeah, Cinderella's like, At At this, I looked over my shoulder and saw Cinderella gazing at me sadly. I kind of feel bad for him. Uh-oh. Cinderella, let's take photos and take her to court. You'll win, no problem. And then we'll rake in the cash. His brothers egged him on gleefully. Cinderella, this isn't what it looks like. I stammered, searching desperately for the words to explain. I mean, he did see us accidentally fall on him. He knows what's happening. He didn't just walk in on this. Not very convincing when you're literally riding some other guy. I'm not riding him. I'm just pinning him to the floor. I shouted louder than I meant to. I'm sorry. I can explain. As a gesture of goodwill, I stood up, and the next moment... I knew it. You look like a good girl, but you're a goddamn thirsty nympho slut. Go ahead, Miss Town Bicycle. You keep making your sad excuses. In the meantime, I'm out of here. Hey, wait! Unfortunately, Alice managed to escape. This game is so amazing. Just the back and forth and the banter and everything, just everything about it. That's weird. I lost him. I chased him all the way to the lake, but now he was gone. Defeated, I crouched down on the spot. It was now late at night. Compared to when I visited during the day, it was even more peaceful and quiet. Because of that, the lake's reflection appeared to be a perfect inversion of the world around me. This lake looks just like a mirror. If I reach out to it, I bet I could pass through to the other side. But right as I reached out... Hey, that's not safe! You could fall, damn it! Cinderella seized me by the arm. Cinderella? When did we meet Red Riding Hood? What are you doing here? His shoulders heaved as he answered. I followed you, obviously. I, didn't realize you were in any shape to give chase. Yeah, neither did I. I was referring to the whole deer in headlights thing. In other words, I had abandoned my loving fiancé to run all the way here. I'm sorry, but I really need to go after Alice. I averted my eyes. Right, Alice. You sure seem to remember him, don't you? What? I blinked back at him. Have I met him before? Of course you have. Say you remember who he is, but you don't remember meeting him? I only remember meeting him in the darkness before I ever came to this world. Huh? What darkness? I can't really explain it. But now I realize that he and I definitely know each other. I just don't remember that I know him. Excuse me. Do you mind? Do you mind? You pooped on my couch again and you're screaming at me. Like, are you screaming at me because you pooped on my couch, bad bird? Is that what you want? Like, what do you want? Crazy asshole. Anyway. Why couldn't I remember? How could I have forgotten something so important? Sorry, I don't really follow you. Right, of course. An uncomfortable silence hung over us. I gotta say, you don't really seem like the Spacey I know. Huh? When I looked up sharply, he smiled softly back at me. I guess without your memories, you've gone back to the person you were when we first met. He walked up beside me. Do you remember this lake? It's where we had our first date. But at the time, I refused to accept that it was a date at all. In the water's reflection, I could see his self-deprecating smile. Looking back, I was a real jerk to you a lot of the time. You kind of were. Man, I remember those days. It was only a few months ago, but it feels like years. Come on, have you really forgotten me? Are your feelings, all the things you said back then, was it all a lie? It was probably true for that me, but I'm a different me now. His reflection rippled in the wind, and I jerked my gaze back up to him. Cinderella. Have you truly forgotten, Cinderella? Hold on, we have to create a save file. Here. Okay, I'm gonna put my saves over on this. Okay, we're supposed to say no. I remember you. I remember how I felt and what I said, and the promises we made, all of it. It's weird that for Alice we have... Well, it makes... At first I was like, it's weird that for Alice's route we have to be like, no, I didn't forget you. Of course I remember you. You know, because you're like, well, we're trying to woo Alice, but we're remembering other boys. But it makes sense because, like, Cinderella is a Alice personality, you know, so. Spacey. He cocked his head at me in confusion. Wait, what the? I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. Have you remembered me? I thought long and hard, but still couldn't remember anything. I'm sorry. I don't remember. Right. Interesting. So, yeah, well, that's a downer ending. Oh, there is actually another... There's a little thing after this when we do a new game. So after we play this. Maybe... Interesting. So anyway. Well, don't worry about it. You never know when the memories might come back. He spoke reassuringly. Yeah. He was surely in far more pain than I was, and yet my feelings were his first priority. Even without my memories, I could tell just how much he cared for her. And there's no rush. And just take your time and... Cinderella? You're my fiancé, right? Yeah, and... If I never get my memories back... If you don't get them back, then I guess we'll probably have to call off the engagement. When I fell silent, he continued in a tone of forced cheer. But don't get the wrong idea. I still love you. Hell, I'd marry you the second if I could. But you don't love me, right? Well, it's alright. I don't expect you to love me without your memories. And that was our whole history, you know? I'm a hopeless romantic. I only want to marry a girl I'm madly in love with. And I want her to feel the same way about me. And there's no law that says we gotta get married. It's not too late to change our minds. And if you'd prefer to move out, that's fine too. You're willing to end the relationship even though you love me? I gazed at him in mild amazement. I mean, what are you gonna do? You love me and you're willing to end the relationship? Do you love me? No? Well, there you go. I don't want to be married to someone who doesn't love me. If that's what makes you happy, then yeah. He's still a better man than some actual men out there. I wasn't sure what to say, so I fell silent. Then he nervously ran a hand through his hair. I mean, I make it sound like I'm tough stuff, but I admit I do want you to remember. And if you never do, then I want to put glass slippers on you all over again. I want to be your prince. Oh, Cinderella, I'm truly lucky to have someone like you in my life. It was my honest opinion. He chuckled. I know, right? Anyway, it's getting cold. It's almost bedtime, too. Now let's go home for tonight. With that, he held out his hand. Okay, but the moment I reached out... Whoa! My legs buckled and the world flipped upside down. Now we're in somebody else's route. Spacey! Did we just flip into Red Riding Hood's route now? Oh no, now we're Alice. A month had passed since Arisu left. Since I first met her 2 months ago, we had officially spent just as much time apart as we'd spent together. And the memories of her were still vivid in my mind. Soon our time apart would surpass our time together. Each passing second whispered at me to forget her. I knew I never would. And nevertheless, my depression only grew. Couldn't even bring myself to talk to him. Whenever I tried, my chest ached like my heart was in a vice. Hey, Dad? I looked up at my father, whose hair and eyes resembled mine. And that day my family and I had come to the lake to have a picnic. This wasn't something we did often. If there's other countries on the other side of the ocean, then what's on the other side of the lake? They both make a whoosh sound, so why are they so different?
Supposedly, these waves are created by friction between the surface water and the wind. That said, a lake is still not the same as an ocean. A lake won't lead you to distant lands.
Oh. Do you think I'll ever see her again? Who? Orisu? Yeah. She said she was going to a faraway country. I promised I'd write to her.
So you like her?
What? No, I don't. You like her? He's like 10. Jesus Christ, stop trying to marry kids off at 10. I mean, you can like someone as a friend, but they were like, oh my god, you got a crush on her. He's like 10. Leave the kid alone. He might be gay, you don't know. Have you seen all the creeps in his head? I don't know. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Personally, I like her very much. You do? Can you blame me? She's just so adorable. Yeah. The moment I saw her, I thought she was a princess. Okay, so wait. We're still Alice, I'm guessing. 2 months had passed since Orisu left town, and I still remembered her. Yeah, okay, we're still him. The border wasn't there, so... Oh, it looks like your father's home.
I'm back!
Welcome home, dear.
Thank you, darling.
Welcome home, Dad.
Thanks. Were you a good boy today?
Yeah?
Good, good. Then you've earned a little reward.
What's that?
These are rare, one-of-a-kind pieces handcrafted by a Venetian glass maestro. Cinderella.
Oh dear, that sounds expensive. And they're so pretty. I was drawn to them instantly, because wasn't... Do you remember... Oh, frick. Well, I mean, Cinderella's the glass... likes the glass crafting, and makes sense, Cinderella glass slippers, right? But there was in one of the stories where they were talking about the glass ornaments or whatever, and then one of them broke. Like, oh, I broke it, and then, like, was that in Cinderella's? One of his, like, his backstory? So that's probably gonna happen here. Alistair's gonna break it. Anyway. I was drawn to them instantly. And they remind me of her eyes.
This type of bird is called a wagtail, and wagtails are monogamous birds.
Yes, because the bird thing's in one of them, and he breaks one of them, and then, like...
Do you think that's, like, when one of his personalities... Another personality shatters into life? Oh my god.
Monogamous?
In other words, the male and the female stay together like husband and wife.
A lot of birds are. Most birds are.
Here in our country, legend has it these very birds once helped the two gods of creation learn what it means to be a married couple, which is why we sometimes refer to them as mate birds. These birds are bonded for life, so you must cherish not just one, but both of them.
Okay, I'll take good care of them.
And when you find that special someone, I want you to give them one of these wagtails. That way the two of you will always be together.
His dad's a little romantic, and it's kind of cute. I kind of like Dad. Pat Dad on head. Good Dad. As he spoke, he patted me on the head, and he just patted us on the head. Okay, whatever. We'll always be together?
Perhaps you'll give it to that young lady.
I gently clasped the glass figurines in my palms. Now, what do you say, Alice? Thanks, Dad. I'll be really careful with them. After that, more time passed. Nearly a year had elapsed since I first met Arisu. It was around then that my mother started sighing constantly. My father was never home. Perhaps he was busy with work. And I could feel everything around us slowly changing. Hey, Mom? What is it? How come Dad doesn't come home anymore? Well, he's busy with work, sweetheart. Oh. That reminds me. What? We got a letter from your sweet Arisu. Beaming, she held out a white envelope. Here you are. Thanks, Mom! I snatched the letter and ran off. Where are you going? To read it in my room. It's private stuff, Mom. Talk about Pokemon and, like...
My heart thumped in my chest as I opened it, and there I found a letter written in both Japanese and English.
Whoa, she's learning another language.
The more letters we exchanged, the more I could tell that she was getting used to her new life there. Still, this was impressive progress in under a year.
Dear Alice, how are you? I'm doing well.
Things have calmed down now, so I have more time to write you letters. And I've learned a lot about my new country, too. Check out these bilingual skills. I was really scared at first, but I found my courage, and it's all thanks to you. No, really, I'm not exaggerating. Your letters have meant the world to me. Feels weird reading our letter in his voice, but life hasn't been easy for me over here. But whenever I'm sad, your letters convince me to keep trying. Remember that time you said, "Don't cry, Arisu"? I'll never forget it as long as I live. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for you. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, guess what? I'm learning how to cook. Keep thinking about all the yummy food your mom made for us. I want to learn to cook like that. Gosh, I wish I were eating her apple pie right now. And then the apple pie, which was Snow White. I'm still nowhere near as good as her, but I hope someday I can cook something for you. Until then, I'll practice lots and lots.
She's really doing great out there. She's so smart and cute. I'm sure everybody there likes her. Now to write back. But what do I say?
Her letter was full of positivity and optimism, but at some point my life ran out of those things. At this rate, she was going to leave me behind. What good am I? I looked in the mirror.
What would you say to her?
He didn't answer.
Which one of us did she see as her prince, anyway?
Alice? Or Alistair? Ugh, not again. Familiar ache spread through my chest.
That's it!
It's really weird because sometimes, like, the voice in his head is Alice, but I'm reading all of the voice in his head as in the Alice kind of tone. But, like, sometimes he's actually just being himself. Like, it would be Alistair's voice. Like, I don't know. It's just easier because you think Alice might actually be... Like, I don't know who's the real person. They're all the real person, and when they all come together, Alice will have a totally different personality. Like, all of them. Weird. I headed to the living room, grabbed a chair, and used it to reach the glass wagtails on the shelf, and this is where they break. I was planning to wait until she came back to give her one, but I could just send it to her through the mail. And as long as she had it, we'd always be together. My fingers couldn't quite reach. Just a little farther. Stretching up on my tiptoes, I tried again. My fingers barely grazed the glass. As I nearly lost my balance atop the chair, one of the wagtails fell to the floor. I caught myself on the shelf, so I was fine. The glass figurine had shattered into tiny pieces all over the carpet.
What do I do? They're gonna yell at me!
A dozen ideas rose to mind at once. It was so expensive. Dad bought it just for me. If he found out I broke it, he'd be devastated. He might never buy me another gift ever again. It should have been so easy for me to carefully get the bird down from the shelf. If I couldn't even accomplish that, then what good was I? This is so sad. Not only that, but the wagtails were monogamous birds. I was supposed to give Arisu one of them so we'd be together forever. But now that bird was destroyed. My heart ached so much I could scarcely breathe. I could see someone's reflection in the shards of glass. No, it's not my fault. It was someone else. And here's Cinderella. The birth of Cinderella.
Oh? What happened to the glass figurine that was there?
I don't know. In the heat of the moment, I lied. But only part of it was a lie. I didn't know what happened to the glass fragments. In a blink, the mess was all cleaned up. First, I was relieved, thinking maybe I'd dreamed the whole thing. Thought to myself, thank goodness I didn't really break that wagtail. When I looked up at the shelf, I saw one of the birds was gone. Why? How? Wasn't that all a dream? I struggled to remember, but couldn't. Then I looked down at my hands and realized they were covered in cuts.
Alistair, please just be honest with me. I don't like little liars.
The word stabbed into my heart. Yes, I was lying, but I was also telling the truth. I just didn't know how to explain it.
I'm sorry. I broke it.
After that day, I started to notice little gaps in my memory. More time passed.
Here we are. Starting today, this is our new home.
Isn't... And there's a cage. After we were kicked out of our old house, we moved into this little cottage. I never asked why, but I had an idea based on the way everyone treated us.
I know it's a little cramped, but it's only the two of us now. We'll make it work.
What about Dad? Well, this is actually kind of like almost Snow White too, because like they lived here and then she goes off to work and then she's gonna end up dying, right?
Your father probably isn't coming back.
He just abandoned them?
But that's okay. Your mom is here for you.
Mom. She hugged me gently.
Alice, you have nothing to worry about. I'll protect you.
I could tell my mother was in pain, but she was doing everything she could for me.
Okay.
Hey, lady! Open up! I know you're in there! Oh, hey, the door's unlocked.
What do you want?
Sorry about this, ma'am. I got word that you moved out here, so I rushed right over. Oh, he's not creepy. Oh. So we're really gonna need your husband's loan repaid with interest. Is that your little son? He's a real cutie.
You sound creepy, dude. Alice, I need to speak with this nice man, so please go to your room.
There's literally just a bed. He goes in the cage.
Okay.
All I ever did was hide in my mother's shadow. I knew I needed to do better, but my legs were shaking. Some prince I turned out to be. Interesting. I squeezed my eyes shut and held... Oh no, this is me. I squeezed my eyes shut and held my breath. Heart racing, I flailed my limbs, but I couldn't grab a hold of anything. Everything's getting dark. Am I gonna sink to the bottom? Help me! I awoke with a scream. Huh? I can breathe again? As I opened my blurry eyes, I realized that not only was I on dry land, I was no longer at the lake at all. Is this my house? What am I doing here? Where's Cinderella? Spacey! Is it the wolf again? Ah! Out of nowhere, the door flew open, nearly stopping my heart in my chest. We're tripping through all the routes now. Cool! This is fun. I like this. But the intruder ignored me and marched straight to the window, which he promptly flung open. Where are you, wolf? Is this where you're hiding? He's gone. He must have escaped. As I debated whether to say anything to the strange man, he suddenly looked over at me, his expression hard. Spacey, are you unharmed? Any injuries? I had so many questions. Who was this guy? How did he know me? What was I doing here? But most importantly, what's the matter? Your ears. I stared at his head. Yes? What about them? As he spoke, they twitched slightly. Huh? Kawaii! Cute. Can I touch them? Unable to hold myself back, I lunged at him. Wait a minute. Whoa, stop. Stop that. Pet, 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 pet. I love the fact that we're petting his ears and he is like so awkward about it. Pet, 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 pet. Your ears are so soft. He blushed and trembled as I continued to pet him relentlessly. Phrasing! Phrasing! Just then I noticed his hip scarf twitching. Oh, is that your tail? When I grabbed the wriggling lump, he flinched hard. We are like assaulting this poor man who is just really, really, really awkward around girls. Yep, that was a tail all right. Ooh, so soft. I stroked his ear with one hand and his tail with the other. Oh my god. His tail's just as soft as the rest of him.
Stop. Please. Your mouth says no, but your tail says yes.
Garl. Garl, no means no.
With an evil grin, I started stroking faster. Oh my god. Pet, 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 pet. No. I can't take it. Okay, I'm gonna... We just, like, pet assaulted Red Riding Hood. This is amazing. Oh god, it's so wrong in so many ways, but so great. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this part up here, and we'll continue, and we'll let Red cool off for a few minutes. So I'll see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up, and subscribe to see more.